Hi friends, welcome back to the Goose and Ghost Knitting Podcast. My name is Ashley and I am the maker and designer behind Goose and Ghost Knits. You can find me on Instagram as Goose and Ghost Knits and on Ravelry as Goose and Ghost. And I'm coming to you today, as you can see from the window here, from a very gray, very gloomy Cle Elum, Washington, right in the middle of the Cascade Mountains. We had our snow. And we'll have more snow, and it's cold and gross and yucky, and it's a very Pacific Northwesty December day right now. So it's great. Absolutely for it. So let's just cozy up, have a nice cup of something. I would love to have a cup of apple cider right now, but alas, I just have my LaCroix. But hopefully you have like nice coffee or cocoa or apple cider or something, and you're enjoying your time, or as I typically do while I'm watching podcast videos, you're enjoying your workday. So whatever today brings you, I hope you're enjoying it and it's not completely awful for you, because that really truly is the goal, isn't it? To not have a completely awful day. So we're going to talk a bunch about knitting projects. I do have one non-knitting project to share with you today, but everything else that I've got is knitting today. We don't have any crochet. We don't have any sewing. We have machine embroidery though. We'll get to it. But no, nothing else creative today, just knitting, which is fine. I haven't done anything else in a while. Even with work, I haven't sewed in a little bit because I've been working on admin and prep for next year instead. So I haven't had to sew for a little bit, which has been nice. But knitting, that's what we're here for, right? So let's start with, we'll start with what I'm wearing, and then we have got a couple of admin things to talk about, some shop updates, and then we'll get into the knitting, I promise. So first off, what I am wearing. This is the Souffle by Laura Penrose. This is the first one that she came out with. I did long sleeve as opposed to the short tee version of it. This is the lace weight, where you hold the lace weight single up top and then you hold it double all below the ruffle, so it's not completely see-through. And then, like, you can see a little bit of my tummy down here. It is cropped, but it's got this really nice billowy sleeve. It's really lovely. It's such a cute little shirt. I knit it in Hobie's Alpaca Blaze and 12 Mahogany, and I believe it's in acrylic, wool, and alpaca alternative to mohair. And it's just this nice reddish brown color. Very festive, very pretty. Great for this time of year. So that's what I'm wearing today. Second, for our little shop update, we are not talking bags in the shop update today. We're not talking artwork, we're not talking project bags, we're talking patterns. It's been a while since I've designed a pattern. This was the last one that I came out with. There's a new design later on in the episode. But we are in the middle right now of the 12 days of sales for me. So I am doing every day for 12 days, 50% off one of my patterns. And that pattern will be on sale for 2 days. So the day that it gets announced and the day after. So I just wanted to share with you what's going up on sale today. So the one that, I'm filming this on Saturday, it's going live on Sunday. So the one that is on sale from yesterday, from Saturday, is the Winchester Mystery Socks. And this pattern is 50% off, so you can get it for just $2.50 American on Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th. And the sale that went up today, you get half off the Innsbruck shawl, which is this lovely beauty right here. It is a worsted weight pattern Works up pretty quickly. It's very simple, very easy. Definitely a great beginner-friendly project if you have never knit cables before. And it just has this braid right down the spine. So this will be 50% off today, Sunday, and tomorrow, Monday. And it is normally $7, which means that today and tomorrow is $3.50, which is great. And stay tuned. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Goose and Ghost Knits if you'd like to see all of the updates on all of the patterns that are on sale and when. And then stay tuned for day 12, which is Christmas Eve, when, I mean, if you missed any of patterns previously, you might get a second chance. So stay tuned for that. And that's the only shop updates I have. So go ahead, and it's 50% off, no code needed, on Etsy and Ravelry. So if you're not a Ravelry user, if you're not whatever, no code needed on Etsy and Ravelry. And just stay tuned on my Instagram to find out what's the sale item for that day. And I'll be updating there. Shall we get into the projects? We'll start first with something different. We'll start with the machine embroidery that I mentioned earlier. So this is new. This is completely new. Nobody make fun of me for how bad this is. If you have advice for me, please leave it down below. But in October, my grandma gifted me her embroidery. I don't know why that word is so hard for me to say, but she gifted me her embroidery machine. And I didn't have time to play with it until this last 2 weeks. And now I'm slowly starting to try and figure it out. I've had some mishaps, been very confused, but I'm starting to work through it. And eventually, in the new year sometime, I don't know when, but at some time, I will be offering machine embroidery things in my shop as well. So here are my first couple attempts. This is not really like the true first attempt. This is the first attempt once I figured it out. It's my name and a little yarn ball. This is just one of the designs that was preloaded into the machine. So it's not like I didn't design anything yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, it's cute. It's very wiggly. So I need to get it tighter in the hoop. And then this was another attempt just working on figuring out the machine. I have not clipped like any of these, but we've got a little monogram, just figuring out the different tools on the machine. Some little flowers, and then figuring out text. If you're a Swiftie, you'll recognize this. If not, it's from her concerts. Something that happens in the concerts. So, yeah. Figuring it out. Not great, but we're getting there. And now we'll jump into the knitting. I have got I actually got quite a bit of knitting to share with you today. But we'll start with the longest term project that I've been working on forever. And I said that I was going to hit a big milestone with it before this episode. I did not hit that milestone that I wanted to. But let's talk about my wedding shawl. So, I am getting married. I say this in every single episode, but I always assume that nobody has watched me multiple times, but so I have to explain everything every episode. I'm getting married next month. I'm getting married in January, so it's going to be a little chilly, a little bit cold, and I wanted to make a shawl just warm up to have for some of our outdoor pictures, and I've been working on it. I cast it on our 1 year out date last year, and I've been working on it throughout the year, and I've been working on it very, very slowly until the last month or so when I was like, oh, I have like no time left. I'm getting married very soon. So now I'm like, oh, I have to finish this very quickly. So this is the shawl. I am working it up in green. This is the color my bridal party is wearing, and I was just more inclined to wear this after the fact than I would be to wear a white shawl. I am a green girly. I have mentioned that a couple times that green is my favorite color. So this is where I'm at now. It's big. The pattern is Poet by Sari Nordland. So it's pretty big. I can't get it all in frame though, which is great. That means that I'm getting somewhere with it. And it also is now scrunched up, takes up the whole width of my needles. This is a 40-inch needle, I think. So it takes up the whole width. And I said in my last episode that I wanted to get to the lace. And I got very close. I am very close to the lace section. So I've done from here up since my last episode, and that is quite a bit of knitting actually. You can see it's pretty big. I think I've done like three or four sections, and now I am 2 sections away from the lace. So I will start it this week. I will start the lace this week. I am getting very close. I just didn't quite get there because this is a lot of knitting. This is a pretty big shawl now, and it's just seed stitch right now, so it's kind of boring. And it's huge, so I can't bring it everywhere. So we're getting there though. It will be done in time for the wedding. We are very close to the 1 month out date, which I can't believe, but it'll be done. It will be done in time. I'm just making my way through it. By next time, you will see some of the lace, which I'm really excited to show you. But so I said that that's now too big to take everywhere as my vanilla knitting project. So I had to cast on a new vanilla knitting project that would be small enough for me to take places. And if you've been here since this time last year, this may look familiar to you, and that is in fact because I have knit this once already in this exact yarn before this time last year. So this is a muscle burrow, and it is just a little bit past the increase section. So now I'm just straight knitting for a very long time, and it's in this really pretty blue color. This yarn is from Serial Knitter Dye House, which is a local dyer to me. She's based out of Seattle. And the base is Wild Scug. It is one of those zebra yarns that was super popular a couple years ago, but has now kind of disappeared. Nobody does them quite as much. I still really like this. So it's got the barber pulling where one of the strands is darker. I think it's trying to focus on the skein, but it's not quite. I need to be out of camera. But so this is it's got the barber pulling in some sections, and then it's just a little variegated blue situation going on here. So this is in the color Mystic Blue, and I have knit this once before in this exact yarn. This was a Christmas gift for my fiance last year, and I finished it. He put it on, and it was probably like this much too big for him. So it was huge, and I know what my mistakes were. I know how I messed up. And I was very careful not to make that mistake this time when I cast on. So the first time the cool thing about this pattern is there's no gauge. It's what works best for you, and you can use a bunch of different yarns for it. But in my mind I was like, oh well, I'm just gonna do what everybody else does and go along with that. So I used a needle, a smaller needle than I probably should have, and I measured like as soon as I could, because when it says in the instructions, once you get to 1 inch wide, measure what the number of stitches in that inch is, and that's your gauge. And then you knit, you do, like if you're, this is totally arbitrary numbers, if you have 7 stitches per inch, then you knit 17 increase rows. Totally arbitrary numbers, drew those out of a hat, but you get the idea. So I was like, okay, great, my stitch gauge is X when I got to that 1 inch. And then so I knit to that number, and turns out my stitch gauge was about 4 stitches less, so I just wound up with this huge hat. So this time I increased my needle size. Instead of doing a US 3, I did a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle. And I also knit quite a few more rows before I measured, and then I measured it in like 4 different locations. And my gauge was different in those 4 different locations, but I was able to average it out, and there was one number that popped up in 2, and so I was able to go off of that number, and that's what I'm knitting it to this time. And it should fit him this time, hopefully. So I had really wanted to have it for him when he went on his bachelor party last weekend. He went to Salt Lake City to go visit his best friend, and they went snowboarding. So I really wanted to have it done before then, but then life got in the way and I cast it on 2 days before he left. So it's fine. It didn't get done. It's nowhere close to being done, but I've got a nice little vanilla project right now. And I mentioned in the video that I uploaded last week, which was my 2024 knitting goals, that I'm looking forward to knitting myself a muscle burrow. And I showed like 4 different, actually might have been 5 different yarns that I want to knit one for myself in. And now I'm like formulating that as soon as this is done, then I'm gonna start my own, but I'm gonna make it my wedding weekend project. So I know I have now decided what yarn I'm going to use, because I have one skein of yarn that is actually a combination of all of our wedding colors, or most of our wedding colors. So it's like, oh, so cute. And it's just a good vanilla project that we do have to stay in a hotel for a couple of days, and so it's just going to be something that I don't have to think about while we're in the hotel. It's the only project I'm going to bring with me when we go get married. And like I mentioned this to Colin, my fiance, the other day, that I'm going to bring it with me the morning of, and that's one thing I really want to get my photographer to take a picture of, is me knitting in my wedding dress, because I feel like that's just so ridiculous and so funny to me that like I really want it to happen now. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, I digress. Next project, let's look at my advent calendar. So these are the advent calendar socks by Freckled Whimsy, and I opened them up on screen last week. I opened up my skein on screen last week, and Had you guys try and help, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, in my last podcast episode. And I was asking y'all to help me figure out which of the two skeins to do for the heel, toes, and cuffs. And I was leaning towards one. And I didn't go with it. And I don't regret my decision, but I am sad about my decision. I think it would have been perfect. So I'll show you the socks first. Here's some spoilers for days 1 through 16 for the Freckled Whimsy advent calendar, but it's not really a spoiler because everybody has their skein starting in a different place. But if you don't want to see it, here's a number right here that you can skip to where you won't see it. So here is my Freckled Whimsy advent calendar. Looking great. I'm very happy with it this year. I think it's such a good palette. So you can see I went with the gray instead of the blue. I really wanted to do the light blue, and that's because when I was looking at the skein here, I saw actually the color that's going to be for tomorrow. This very light pastel baby blue. You can see it right in the center, popped up. And I was trying to count the rows. And I was like, oh, it's the exact same color as that skein that I would do for my heel, toes, and cuffs. So I was like, I don't want it to be right next to that stripe. So I don't want it to be a continual, like, there's a blue stripe, but also your heel is blue. And I was counting it out, and I kind of thought that it was going to be right next to it. So I decided to do the gray instead. But this is where we're at. And I'm a little bit disappointed now that I have gone through the whole thing, knowing that no, the blue stripe, the light blue stripe would not be next to the blue heel. But it's fine. The gray does look good with it. I really like it this year. I think the stripes look really good. I think it's a little bit interesting that these two stripes are the same as these two stripes. Like, they are the exact same. They are the exact same. So I think that's a little bit weird, because normally it's 24 days of different colors, but whatever. Maybe something happened. I do really like it. And I want to show you my project bag for it too, because I never use this bag and I should use it way more because I think it is beautiful. It's just like very traditional Japanese fabric print. And the maker of this bag is Zukuri Designs. I found it at a maker's market that I went to a couple years ago now, actually. I think 2 years ago. So I love this bag. I think it's so pretty. I don't use it enough. Alright, and the last project that I've worked on over the last 2 weeks, I cast on a new design. And I'm really excited about this design because it's going to be a big boy. But right now, this is my first sample of it, and it's done. So technically, like, this is kind of an FO, but it's not finished because I ran out of yarn. And also, maybe I'll finish this version of it someday. But for now, I'm gonna move on to the next sample of it because there's no point in waiting. But this is my new design. It is a cowl, and this is actually the first cowl that I've designed. So we have got, hold it up here, got some little garter stitch, and then this section of seed stitch and some lace and some faux cables and some baubles, and then more of that section, and then it will like be this part on the top. But I ran out of yarn. I underestimated how much I would need. So this is the yarn that I used is Swish DK from Knit Picks in the color Wonderland Heather. And I had a little over 50 grams. I did the math wrong. I guess this version is going to need a little bit closer to 100 grams, but that's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll show you what my next sample is going to be in here in a minute. But some changes need to be made. This is not what it's going to look like in the end. It's very close, but it needs some adjustments. But the fun thing about this design is this is my first sample in DK weight yarn, but it's also going to be available in fingering, in DK, like this one, in worsted, and in bulky. So it's going to have 4 different versions of it available, 4 different weights available, and then it's going to have 2 different lengths. So you have your standard size, just slip over your head cowl, and it's also going to have a double version, so you can twist it around your neck twice in all 4 of those yarn weights. And then I know some people aren't fond of baubles, so there's also going to be an alternative for the baubles. So this pattern is going to have 16 different variations that you can knit it in. I'm having a blast right now trying to figure it all out. It is going to be a little bit different between sizes, between weights, just because they require different things. But here's sample 1. I like it. So I don't have a huge sampling of DK weight yarn in my stash right now. I think I mentioned that in my last episode, that I need some stash enhancements for DK weight yarn. I have a lot of worsted weight. Like, I'm having fun picking out the worsted weight version. But this was really the only extra DK weight yarn that I had in stash. So we're gonna go with this. So it's gonna be a little bit of a fun one. Don't worry, there will be other samples available in a plain color so that you can see what it looks like, but I am gonna go with this kind of, it fades. It fades between the cream and the like raspberry color. And this is Joann's house brand, Knit and Crochet. The yarn is called Bliss. I think it was a limited edition yarn over the summer a couple years ago. It's cotton, acrylic, and polyamide, and it's really soft. So this is what I'm going to do sample number 2 in. But that's the only DK weight yarn that I had in that weight available to me. That was it. So I need to add to my stash in DK weight. I say that I'm about to show you some acquisitions that I did get some DK weight in acquisitions, but they are reserved for other things. So those are the only DK weight unattached to a planned project skeins in my stash. So I'm really excited about that pattern. I'm not anticipating it coming out for another couple months just because I need to do at least 1 sample in every weight, and that's going to take me a little bit, but I'm kind of planning for early spring release for this cowl. And I have 2 names picked out. I'm deciding between them right now. It is going to be named after where I'm getting married. I'm just trying to decide if it's going to be the city that I'm getting married in or the specific neighborhood in that city that I'm getting married in. And I can't decide. And I asked my fiance and he was just like, that's quite the conundrum. Thanks, Colin. So I will be deciding at some point here what it's called, and when I have a name, I'll let you know. All right, shall we talk acquisitions? I have got quite a few acquisitions to share with you. So I'm just gonna go through, we'll start actually here. We'll start with this bag and then we'll move to the second bag. So we'll start with this one. So this is some Bear Hawthorne fingering, just their 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide sock yarn. And I got this so that I can keep working on my granny square circle blanket because I am running out of my the bear yarn that I'm using for it. So I got some more of it. So I've got plenty so I can finish that blanket at some point. But it was on sale. So this is my order from the Knit Picks big sale, is in this bag. This is everything that I ordered from the big sale in here. So next we have got another blanket. So I've been getting the Fangirl Fibers Disney Parks Attractions Club all of 2023, and I had started working on a blanket for it, and actually I have one of these squares for the blanket right here, and I didn't finish it because I didn't have a joining outside, a color for the outside edges of the squares and the joining color. And this is as far as I got. This is the From Grandma with Love blanket by Melanie Berg, I believe. And this is as far as I got. And I just kind of waited and waited and waited for a really long time trying to decide what color I wanted to do for the outside edges and joining. And I finally made a decision. And I ordered it during the big sale because it was like $1.50 a ball. And that sounded like a really smart idea to me. So I ordered Knit Picks palette in this really beautiful dark color, and it is called Navy. And this will be my joining color for that blanket. I'm really excited to start working on this. I actually have whole bunch of my skeins from the Disney Parks Club in this bag here, so I'm going to transfer these over, and they live in this bag here that I got from Sewrella, and it says the happiest yarn on earth, and it seemed very appropriate. So those live in there now. At some point, that's one of my making goals for 2024. Go check out the video that I posted last week, is to make that blanket with all of my Disney Parks attractions skeins from Fangirl Fibers. So I'm really excited to work on that. Next up, I got yarn to make a Christmas sweater. That will not be happening this year. It won't be. I'm sorry. So I ordered my contrast colors though. So I decided last year I wanted to do this, but I didn't have time before Christmas last year. And now I've kind of run myself very close to Christmas this year, and maybe I'll start it so I at least have it started. But I'm going to do a Christmas sweater where all of the color work on it is going to be doodles from Jamie Lomax, Pacific Knit Co. And using the Tin Can Knits, Strange Brew sweater. So I ordered my contrast colors, and I ordered the main color on Black Friday because it was, so here's a hot tip for you, okay? If you're shopping Knit Picks in November, this happens every year. Here's how you shop Knit Picks in November. The big sale runs at the beginning of the month, and in the big sale, everything a bunch of items, not everything, a bunch of items are 10% to 60% off. Only buy yarn during the big sale that is 30% off plus, because every single year on Black Friday, they put out a 25% off everything coupon. So, yes, you have to place 2 orders, but like, think about it. It's really smart. So, here are my contrast colors that were on sale, over 30% off, and my main color was not 30% off. So this is going to be in Swish DK, and we have got Loam Heather, Moss, and Garnet Heather. And is that not beautiful? Okay, so that's everything that I got in the big sale order. Here is what I got on my Black Friday order. I got my main color. So we'll start there. This is going to be my main color. I got Dove Heather, also in Swish DK. So this is my Christmas sweater that I might cast on here soon. I might cast one on like as a special treat, just to like make me happy after I start the lace, as like on my wedding shawl, as a reward, because this will bring me so much joy, and then I can work on it a little bit leading up to Christmas. So there is my Christmas sweater colors. The other 2 things that I got from the big sale, and I got a whole sweater quantity of that Dove Heather color. I'm just not going to show you all of it. The other 2 things that I got from the Black Friday sale are single skeins, but they put out Hawthorne in DK weight now. So this is 80% fine Highland wool, fine superwash Highland wool, and 20% polyamide. So they made a DK sock yarn, finally, and I got this gorgeous gold color to make DK socks. So love this color. The other thing that I got, because I saw that this is a new yarn that they just put out, and I was very curious about it, kind of curious where it would land. I got their Bubbly Boucle. Ooh, it's a little floppy. It is a sport weight boucle yarn, and I got the color Peach Snap. I thought it was a really fun color. So it is definitely a little bit thinner than some of the other boucle yarns that I have seen in the past. That's okay. And I'm actually debating right now applying for a test knit that requires this yarn from Ksenia Nadion, whose Life is Cozy, one of my favorite designers. I'm just debating it solely because it's due the day before my wedding. But I have the yarn for it, so maybe I'll make it after it's released. But it's so... I really like this though. It's not quite as soft as the Explorer Knits and Fibers boucle that I have, but I really like it. I'm excited to use it. So that's everything that I got from Knit Picks. I have 2 other orders come through here. First one is my Fangirl Fibers Disney Parks Attractions Club for November. And so this is Space Mountain, which won't that look good with that navy? Yes. I think I picked the right color there. So this is Space Mountain, and I've gotten this whole club on fingering weight yarn. She uses an 80-20, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon for her sock yarn, but I love those purple speckles, which is a very rare thing for me to say. I don't like purple. And we'll leave that into the next yarn. I don't like this yarn, but that is my own personal opinion. And you may be asking yourself, Ashley, why did you buy yarn you don't like? Because it was a surprise. It was a mystery. So this is from Sinful Yarn. And nothing I say right now is a diss to them. The yarn itself is very beautiful. I have a personal opinion on the color, and it's that I don't like purple. So I ordered the Christmas Eve cast on box that they did for Christmas Eve, and it was themed to the Polar Express. So I'm going to show the yarn because I did open it as soon as it came. I didn't realize that if I opened the package it wasn't going to be like a surprise for Christmas Eve, but that's fine. If you got it and you want to be surprised, here's a time marker. But here is the yarn. I did get it in DK weight, and which is great because I wanted a quicker project for Christmas this year. I don't like purple. I actually hate purple a lot. Like, it is my least favorite color, and I personally was disappointed when I opened the box. This color, stunning, beautiful. This color, not my jam. Not my jam. It's also, like, if I think of Polar Express, I think of like gold and navy and blue, and this isn't the color that I thought I would be getting when I saw it was inspired by the Polar Express. So I personally am disappointed in it. This is nothing against the dyer. It's just the reality of the situation. When you order mystery yarn, you may not like it. But this is, the color on this one is called I Believe, and this one is called Why to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express. I love the Polar Express. Like, it is one of my favorite Christmas movies. This doesn't scream Polar Express to me, and I'm just a little bit sad because I don't like purple. So, but here's this. Does anybody want to do a yarn swap? Like, I would love to trade this with somebody for a sock set that somebody else really likes. Like, if you really like this and you want to swap with me for something not purple, I would be thrilled to. So leave a comment down below and we can do a sock set swap. This is DK weight yarn, so if you want to swap me DK, if you want to swap me fingering, whatever. But maybe we can do a sock set swap. That'd be fun, right? Let's make a good situation out of something that I wasn't entirely pleased with. That said, I will still probably buy from Sinful Yarns in the future because I do really like their yarn that they post on social medias and I see in their shop. This is, like, it's very beautifully dyed too. Like, the color in it, it's really pretty. I just don't like purple. How many times am I going to say that? I don't like purple. So, it is what it is. It's what happens when you order mystery yarn. And I can't be too upset about it because it is mystery yarn. It just happens. That's it for yarny things now. Shall we talk about life for a couple minutes? It's been pretty busy. I did get a lot of knitting in and a whole lot of yarn in, but it's been pretty busy the last 2 weeks. I am still posting a video every weekend in December. Last weekend I posted my 2024 knitting goals. Next weekend I'll be posting a recap of what I knit in 2023. So stay tuned for that. Last weekend was kind of exciting. So I said Colin was on his bachelor party. He went to Salt Lake City to go snowboarding. He had a great time. He was trying to convince me now that we need to go to Salt Lake City again, which is totally up in the air. His best friend lives there. I have a lot of knitting friends who live in Salt Lake City, so we will probably end up in Salt Lake City at some point. But while he was gone, I ended up having a really busy, exciting wedding related day. On Sunday I went and I had my wedding hair trial. I did a makeup trial for the wedding as well. I'm going to do my own makeup for the wedding. Years ago, I used to be a professional makeup artist, so I do have a basis. I'm not just like, I'm going to do my own makeup, I got this. No, I actually do know what I'm doing. You may not believe it right now because I put a lot of effort in day to day now because I'm not a professional makeup artist anymore, but I do still have the skills. I just don't care to do them every day anymore. Anyways, so I had my hair trial, I did a makeup trial, and then I picked up my wedding dress from Alterations. And my dress is so pretty. So it was really exciting getting to see everything all together. I got to do put on all my accessories and my veil, and I felt beautiful. I felt very pretty. And I'm so excited. That day actually ended up working out really well too, because that was the day we had to go pick up Colin from the airport. So we picked him up and was like, what do you think of my hair? How do I look? And he just got like the softest, like sweetest expression on his face ever, and he was just like, you look really good. So that made me feel really good too, that I felt pretty and that he also thought that I looked pretty. So that was a little bit of a confidence booster, because I haven't felt like super pretty as of late. I've just gained a lot of weight in the last year, and things look differently on me than they have in the past, and it happens, but it's just changing life things makes you kind of reevaluate sometimes. And then I've just been working. Oh, we went to a Kraken game on Tuesday as well. That was very fun. Actually, we've done a lot of wedding things in the last 2 weeks. On Tuesday, we also had our final venue walkthrough with our coordinator, which was very fun, very exciting. We got a whole bunch of plans in place. After I go finish after I finish editing this video, we're gonna go apply for our marriage license. So we're just really doing all of the wedding things right now. So that's kind of what happens in the last month before you get married, is you do a lot of things related to your wedding. And that's all my life is right now. So, yeah, on Tuesday, in between the Kraken game and going through our venue walkthrough, we also did a little bit of shopping. We went and got Colin, he needed a shirt and tie for the wedding still. We got him a shirt, but ties are a lot more expensive than we were anticipating at the store we went to, so we got to go to another store and find him another tie. And then we went and picked out my wedding band as well, and while we were at the jeweler, I had them do their warranty check on my engagement ring and clean it all up, and I thought, you know, it's just gonna be a cleanup. No, one of the stones was loose. So they had to take my engagement ring for a couple days to get it fixed up. And it's actually the second time that exact stone has gotten loose. Last February, I think, I knocked my hand against a shelf at work, and it was a side stone. The side stone fell out completely, and I was able to find it, and they put it back in. But because this is the second time in the last year that stone has gotten loose or fallen out, they're going to try and upgrade some of the prongs around that stone to make it a little bit thicker, so it hopefully doesn't fall out again. So we have to go pick it up this week, and when we go pick it up, we're gonna go do all of our Christmas shopping. I'm really excited. We're gonna go to Target and separate from each other, and while we're there, we're gonna go buy all of our stocking items for each other. That'll be really fun. And I think we're going to try and find Colin a tie while we're there, and then we have to go, you know, do a Costco trip and buy some Christmas presents for people, and it'll be fun. It'll be a nice day out, but yeah, I haven't really done much else. Just been working. But yeah, next weekend my sister comes home for Christmas, so it'll be really fun, and we're really looking forward to the Percy Jackson show premiering on Disney Plus. I was a huge Percy Jackson fan when I was younger. Haven't read it in a while, but my sister is, to this day, a huge Percy Jackson fan. Like, that is her series, that is her fandom, so she is super excited. And we're going to, it premieres on Tuesday or Wednesday on Disney Plus, and she's going to hold off on watching it until she gets home. So the three of us, my brother, sister, and I, can all watch it together when she gets home. So she's really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. That'll be fun. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. Oh, I finally finished Iron Flame. And I finished the tandem read of the Throne of Glass books, Tower of Dawn, and Empire of Storms. You guys, do not finish reading 3 huge books within 2 days of each other, because your brain will hurt and your heart will hurt, and then you'll be sitting there like, why did I do that? So the cliffhangers on all 3 of those, kill me, I guess. Anyways, I jumped right into Kingdom of Ash, the last Throne of Glass book, as soon as I finished those 3, and I've been reading them for, like, reading it. It's one singular book, but it's a huge book. It's almost 1,000 pages long. I've been reading it for, I think, 3 or 4 days now, and I'm already halfway through it. I need to know what happens. I'm, like, really stressed out. This one's not really a fun read. Like, this book is kind of depressing so far. I mean, I hope it gets less depressing. But I need to know what happens. And I need, like, I need to know what happens. So, I have been spoiled on a couple things just from the nature of being on social media. So I kind of know, like, some of the things that happen, but, like, how those things happen and the route that it takes to get to those things, I don't know how they happen. But I'm excited to finish it so I can finally be done with that series. I've been reading them. I started the series in July, so I've been reading them for so long. I'm kind of excited to be done. Anyways, shall we talk about my goals for the next 2 weeks? I don't remember what my goals were for the last episode. I didn't write them down. So we're just going to talk about what I want to get done in the next 2 weeks. And that is get through the lace section of my wedding shawl. I want to get it done. I need to get it done. And then I also would like to design the signage for my wedding. So I need to do, like, allergen lists for the dessert table. I need to do the welcome sign. I need to do a bar menu, the seating chart. There's some signage that I have to design. And once, like, the basics of it's all figured out, it shouldn't be too hard, but I need to get it done so that it can start getting printed. Let's go. Let's get it done. So let me know what your goals are for the next 2 weeks down below. Subscribe if you would like to see my wrap up of 2023 knitting next week. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.